Civ and Pylon. It is I, Corey, your beloved Pylon.
And I, Sam, the one and only Civ.
You know, every time I start doing that, I'm just like, shit, which one am I again? Fuck.
I did it on a walk today. I was like trying to come up with because I was thinking about catchier openings, and I wanted to do the Civ and the Pylon, best podcast since Dylon, and Dylon, but I couldn't remember which my slot was and how it should come in, so never mind.
Right on. Well, let's just plan for that next time, and then everybody knows what to listen for.
Okay. Yeah, now they know.
How's your day off?
I've had a nice day. I slept in a little. Yesterday I walked over 10 miles with the puppy, which was tight. Took a nice walk today. I got my taxes done. I saw a really cute juxtaposition of gang graffiti in the neighborhood mixed with, there was like in the same font and the same color of spray paint or whatever, there was like some gang shit, and then right next to it there was like, have a good day. And though I'm sure that it was written by two separate people, I like to think that it was just some benevolent SD who was like, you know what, I'm gonna put my territory out there, but also I hope people have a nice day.
That's nice.
I don't think that's what was happening.
That's some good energy.
Yeah. We'll ride it out. How's your day?
Just really hectic, kind of. I don't know. Mondays and Tuesdays
work
in
cray.
the IT world are like insane, and the proprietary software to the people that I support was updated on Sunday, and anytime that happens, it's all fucked up for like the first 4 days that you're working. So It's just insane, and it happens to be one of my work's bigger clients too, with 8 locations. So
Gross.
Everybody's just figuring out.
Sounds stressful.
The ins and outs of that. Yeah, it was annoying as fuck. But I don't know. I've been keeping my eye on some trade stuff for the NHL in my free time when I have 5 minutes to fuck off into the void of my phone.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Real quick, not that I don't agree with the sentiment behind it. I just wanted to make fun of you sharing a Harley Davidson thing on your Instagram today.
Why is that funny?
It's just like Harley. It's just like Harley Davidson. I don't know.
Did you read it though? It wasn't Harley. It wasn't an ad for
totally
Harley.
Legit.
It was an ad for safety.
I agree. And as a cyclist, if not a motorcyclist, I totally agree wholeheartedly. I thought of you and like a Harley crowd, but like you on your cute little purple Honda motorcycle.
That thing's giving me grief.
Like, oh no!
When we're done with this, I'm gonna go fuck around with that thing. Yeah. I'm annoyed.
Sounds horrible.
No, it's fun. Get to go like
around outside. I know it's fun for people.
How often do you roll around on the concrete for a hobby?
Almost never. I do know how to. Maybe we've been over this. I know how to change a car tire.
What, really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know. Everybody's so shocked. It makes me a little offended when I say that, but it is a thing I've done several times.
Wild.
I can't put a new tube on my bike or really do anything else, but I've got that.
That's exciting. I'm so proud of you, Sammy.
So there. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, trade deadline coming up, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of it's like hearsay, and I think like this is like the hardest year to really predict, and it's definitely not.
Well, it's all fucked up. The whole thing's fucked
with the
up.
expansion and COVID. It's like hard to be bold with trades, but biggest name on the market is clearly Taylor Hall, and
although it's not a great, and again I know Buffalo, but I think he's going to bounce back, but it's not a great season for him.
No, not anybody on Buffalo, I'd argue.
I know, but he's not even like leading the pack, which is weird.
Who is?
I don't know, but I recently looked at their stats. I can't recall, but there's like 2 people who are scoring who have more points than him.
Who would that even be?
I don't know, because I think of Buffalo and I just think of like Jack Eichel and nobody else. I'm sure Jack Eichel has more points than Taylor Hall, but that wasn't
I'm actually sure
the
he
remarkable
doesn't.
part. Really?
He's been injured for a
Look it up
minute
right now.
No. But everybody, it like, you listen to any podcast and everybody has some sort of like hot take that is feasible just because, fuck, dude, anything seems feasible with Buffalo at this point. Most notably, though, I think Boston and Toronto are supposed destinations for him.
Toronto looks like they're ready to give up first.
They are. They want to win, and honestly, I
don't blame them. I get it.
I don't blame them. And for real, I have this little app that I can like bet on sports on. That's like fake money.
Tight.
And I've just put down like half of my little. They call it
Your
Edge
fake
Coin
allotment
on Toronto.
They do not call it Edge Coin.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Like Edge Lords, but coins?
I don't think.
Like edging?
Well, no. It's called. The app is called Better's Edge.
And it's called Edge Coin.
It's called
Okay,
Edge
that's
Coin,
cool.
And it's not like Edge
Real quick,
Lords. And Sam Reinhart.
can we just revisit?
Right?
Sam Reinhart, Victor Olofsson both have more points. Jack Eichel has the same amount of points in 13 less games.
That's like.
So
holy shit. And you're looking at 32 games played.
Yeah.
That's
34. Yeah.
Fuck. That's so terrible if you're a Buffalo Sabres fan. Nobody on your team is a point per game player.
No, nobody's even a 3/4 point per player. The best they have is Sam Reinhart's 21 in 32 games, which is slightly better than 2/3 of a point per game, but that's bad. And Jack Eichel's Jack Eichel's a superstar, I mean, he's almost a point per game. He's over 3/4 of a point per game, but he's been injured for 2 weeks. So
Yeah. I don't know.
Or 2 weeks worth of games. Bummer team.
I think though.
That's all.
If I'm Boston, and I don't Boston. Okay, so Boston. I know I'm a big Boston person, and I know it's annoying. I don't know why it's annoying, but I guess it is. Boston actually has not been scoring very well, and I think they lost a couple nights ago to fucking the New Jersey Devils at like a boring ass score of 2-0.
That sounds boring and bad.
And it's just like, I think their power play too is gone like real fucking soft. They have like one good line now. They're very much on like the fringe of a rebuild, like they have, and I don't know. So I think
they have a real serious old guard, new guard situation. They have talent on the young side of things, but they also have a lot of dudes who are like tail end of their primes / past their primes that still get paid a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the heroes from 5 to 10 years ago are old now. Patrice Bergeron, old. Marshy even's getting older.
Marshy can skate though. He's fast.
I know. No, Marshy's not. Marshy's still in his prime because he's also probably a superstar. But the teams get like those. That set of names is getting older and less effective. That's just what happens,
Absolutely. Yeah. No, but I don't know. I don't know what you give up if you're Boston, though, that makes it worth your while, because you're on the fringe, like, you're 3 years away from kind of selling the farm, I feel like.
I mean, you don't want to give up young futures right now if you're Boston, right? Like, you don't feel good enough about your team to be like, we're going to win a cup this year, therefore we should trade Charlie McAvoy for whatever we're missing. I mean, obviously that's not in play, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like... I I have some shit to talk about Boston, but if you have more points, I can wait.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're looking at somebody like David Krejci, maybe.
Yeah.
Who
Maybe. He's not, I don't think he's worth that
I don't
much.
think he's worth that much, but you throw in
A third or something.
second round or something, and
Yeah. What do you get?
I think you can get Taylor Hall, since Taylor Hall would still have to re-sign. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting the rights
Sure.
to Taylor Hall, and I think
You could get that. You could get Taylor
an
Hall.
old player.
You have to wait till the deadline, probably, because the Buffalo's pretending that they still want like all sorts of crazy shit for him. But I bet that you can get that.
I think Toronto is more willing to give up futures.
Yes, which is why I think they'll get Taylor Hall. Although I don't know if their offense is what really needs love. I think that they'd rather have Ekholm.
I think it's pretty well known that they would definitely fucking use a second wing or center.
Yeah, when I look at Toronto, my concerns are their defense, not their offense. But yes, anybody would take Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, even if he's having a subpar year, is still Taylor Hall, and he's been one of the top 4 or 5 left wings in the league for 8 years.
Sure.
Not this year.
Holy shit. You throw him on... I don't know, man. I think if Toronto gets Taylor Hall, it's toast. What don't you like about Toronto's defense?
They're not that good. Who's their best defenseman? Morgan Riley?
Jake Muzzin.
Jake Muzzin's not. Oh, Corey, no. Corey. Jake Muzzin wasn't even the second best defenseman on LA.
Zach Bogosian.
Zach Bogosian's not a good defenseman.
TJ Brody.
TJ Brody was an okay defenseman 4 years ago. They don't have a very good defense. They don't. They have a good goalie. They have maybe the best offense in the league. But they don't have a very good defense. I think Morgan Riley's a really good defenseman. I think Jake Muzzin is a totally acceptable defenseman. TJ Brody, same. Travis Dermott, okay. I mean, they're playing Justin Hall big hours. Have you heard of him before this year? Don't lie.
No, I have.
Okay.
What do you want
look
from
at
me?
their defense isn't that good. It's old and it's not that good.
Sure.
Almost everybody's over 29.
Sure. I just think that I don't think you pass up.
No, I still no. Of course, you go for Taylor Hall if you can get him. No matter what, everybody goes for Taylor Hall if you can get him. I'm just saying. I think Jake Muzzin and Morgan Riley are really the only two defensemen on their team that are good, and that's not like a great sign heading into the playoffs. But they're great. That's an otherwise perfect team.
What about Montour?
Brandon Montour is not on Toronto.
What if you trade for him?
Oh, I think that's a good pickup. I think that makes way more sense to me than
Prospect and a first for Montour and Eichel? Or Hall, excuse me?
Oh, I don't know. I think they want their own set for maybe like a good prospect. I don't know anything about the prospect game. I don't have enough. But yeah, I think that's possible. While we're Toronto / Boston, can we just real quick
Totally.
talk shit about Boston and it's getting rid of players because of culture, like team culture?
Sure, yeah.
And how Boston's like the Toronto media of America, and they hate dudes who like are vocal about partying, even though Marchie's paid so much money for cocaine off of strippers' asses. Like, I just have no doubt in my mind.
He's a married man, Samuel.
Okay. So was Patrick Sharp. Is Patrick Sharp. Boston, the big three that come to mind real quick, and this I just have to say it once real quick. They gave up Dougie Hamilton, Tyler Seguin, and Phil Kessel for essentially next to nothing in the grand scheme of like what those players became, all because they felt that they didn't work hard enough. And I just think, and Joe Thornton. I'm pretty sure Joe Thornton. That's right, Joe Thornton too.
I think
That's a crazy top 4. I'm sure. Did he go to free agency or did he get a big package?
No, I think that year they were up against fuck it was I remember this being, I think Chara was due for his first big deal or something.
That's still
and like yeah. Didn't they
Sagan, Hamilton, and even taking Joe out of the conversation, Sagan, Hamilton, and Kessel were all on that team and all got traded after like bad media rumbling about them. I hate Tyler Sagan and I'm glad he's not on my team, but I think he's really fucking good. And so is obviously Phil Kessel, and so is Dougie Hamilton.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's all because Boston didn't like them.
Okay. I had to pull it up because I was like, I remember this being a significant thing. Dude, San Jose got Joe Thornton. Boston got Brad Stewart, Wayne Primo, and Marco Sturm. And then they turned that into TJ Brody. And then they got Andrew Ferentz and Chuck Kobusu. And then that trade tree is actually
Andrew Ferentz's career was overrated, and it's because he had a hard end to it, and my heart goes out to him. Andrew Ferentz was like pretty good for 4 years or something
on the Bruins.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
still got the gas on.
Joe Thornton had a better career than all of those dudes put together.
I got nothing.
Joe Thornton won at least one, if not 2 Hearts.
Yeah.
I mean, Boston wins cups. I'm just saying that I think that the concept of media disliking guys who like get caught with a glass of champagne or whatever, like they got rid of Phil Kessel because he's got a fat face and they thought that meant he wasn't a hard worker. That's just the facts.
Sure. I completely agree. And honestly, too, you look at players like Ovechkin on the power play. Right. He doesn't move. He skates to one spot and stands there the whole fucking time.
No, he doesn't have to move,
If you
right?
know how to score...
Phil can, but he doesn't have to
No,
either.
that's what I'm saying. If you know how to score from a certain area, you don't need to be flashy. You don't need to, like...
It doesn't fucking matter.
If you can shoot the puck from where you can shoot the puck, you put up 20 goals, boom,
Those boys are all kind of flashy, though. All those boys have scored like 40 plus goals. But except for Dougie Hamilton, but I'm pretty sure he's averaged like... Anyways, I like to make fun of Boston when I can.
Who would you rather have on your team? Hall or Hamilton? H-O-L-L.
Dougie Hamilton. H-A-L-L or H-O-L-L?
H-O-L-L. Because they're defensemen. I'm talking defensemen here.
Are you actually asking me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dougie Hamilton scores like... Dougie Hamilton's like a borderline great defenseman.
I think he is a great defenseman.
Justin Hall?
No! Hamilton.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, obviously Hamilton.
Yeah, I agree. Can we move on to a different player? Anyways, I think Tall's going to Toronto, and I would be surprised if he went anywhere else.
It'll be fun.
Florida.
Talk to me about Florida.
They win games. They lose players. They should trade for a defenseman that happens to maybe have an expiring contract at the end of the year. I think they should go for Savard from Columbus. Although, if they wanted to move some cap around, they could go after Ekholm too.
Savard's got a bigger cap hit.
Ekholm's contract is for another year.
It's 1 year. Yeah, it's got 1 year. But I think Matthias Ekholm at 3.75 cap hit is like... David Savard's not that good of a player.
Sure. I mean, you need to throw somebody on the blue line, though.
No, they definitely need a blue line presence. I think if you are trying to go for a defenseman, David Savard's like that's like a Minnesota Wild move. Get a guy who's not actually effective enough to like make any sort of difference, but does technically qualify as your absence. Matthias Ekholm's still a skill. Nashville's not that good, and he's got 19 points in 19 points in 26 games. As a defenseman.
Sure.
And his cap hits 3.75, which is crazy. And he's only 30, so if you do want to re-sign him, I mean, he's somebody who's probably going to get a 6-year contract for $8 million a year, and it's totally not going to be worth it. But he's not past his expiration date.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, looking at.
I actually think Alex Goligoski's a better defenseman than David Savard.
I would completely agree. I was just trolling ahead a little bit. Anton Strawman is on the taxi squad for Florida.
I know. I saw that. It's confusing to me, right?
I mean,
was he not? Am I wrong? Was he not like super good 2 or 3 years ago?
I want to say he was. They're paying him $5.5 a year. He's 34 though.
Makes it harder to move him.
Fuck, it's kind of like.
Not a lot of decent defensemen, honestly, in the potential market in general.
What if they do go for Savard for a rental? Would you laugh? Would you be like, "Oh, Corey, God, you have such a great hockey mind"?
I'd be like, Corey, this is such a Corey.
This is such a Minnesota move.
I would say this is such a Corey. Yes. I'd say depth talent.
Yeah. So, hey, look at number 14 on TSN's trade bait.
Glendening?
14. Oh, wait, 11. How did I get that fucked up?
Ryan Zingle.
What the? Didn't he get traded twice this year?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I think he did.
What did he do?
He's also not terrible for, again, 16 points in 20 games. And he doesn't cost that much money. I don't know, because
you know what? I'm gonna write the NHL letter.
Let's let him know, huh?
No,
let's let him know how we really feel.
I'm gonna petition to have a team in Minneapolis with all the players on this list.
That is what a good proffer, Corey.
Yeah, I'll take
trying to think of what it would look like.
Chicago's cap space, Toronto's top prospect, Dmitry Kulikov, Devin Dubnyk, come home, buddy. Oh shit! Never.
Mark Stahl, Colin Miller. Ugh.
Immediately gonna buy out the last player on the list, though.
What's up with? Yeah, fair. Yep. Fuck Tony DeAngelo, in case people have forgotten. What's up with Jake DeBrusk? Is he not? I thought he was good.
I don't know. I don't think they're trading him. Why would they trade him?
I don't think he's 24, right? Like he's
supposed
time
to be.
And space. He had a good year last year. He's having a not good year this year, but not a terrible year.
He's supposed to be right up there with Pasta. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
See, if I am Boston though, and I'm looking. See, I don't know. They got David Krejci, who has an expiring contract.
Yeah.
You're going to free up 7.2. You don't have anything coming up that's going to be worth. You don't have to re-sign anybody that's going to take up that cap space. Like, I don't know. I think I
don't know them well enough. Do they have all their young boys signed?
Yeah, they do. All the players that are on two ways right now aren't going to see anything more than a 1.5, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Charlie Coyle, ironically, has the longest contract on this team, thanks to us.
I have a Coyle point to make real quick. I just, as per usual, Corey was like, I'll do some like real research, and I was like, I'm gonna look for something to talk shit about. So I wanted to talk shit about the Wild and their trades.
Go for it. Yeah.
That was a bad trade when we got rid of Brent Burns for Charlie Coyle, who we ended up trading 4 years later for Ryan Donato, who's no longer with the team. Devin Setaguchi, who had a couple solid years in San Jose, but was not a good player for the Minnesota Wild. And a first-round pick, which on paper doesn't sound horrible, although it was Brent Burns' first season, and it was like the first of many 45 to 60-point seasons that he would have in the future. Brent Burns has been probably not a top 10, but like 100% a top 20 defenseman in the league, and at points a top 10 defenseman in the league for over, I don't know, at least a decade. And that first round pick was Zach Phillips, who never played, or maybe played 3 games in the NHL.
Devin Setaguchi, though, at that time was hot shit.
He was kind of hot shit. He was like a 20-goal scorer.
Yeah, but he was young still. It was before he like faded away. But then he got
totally.
He got traded to us, and Jacques Lemaire was still coach. They were playing the fucking trap.
Yeah.
And we used our one offensive weapon over and over, and that was the only person allowed to take any risk with the puck at all. Like, it wasn't a good system for a young player like that.
I still love Jacques Lemaire.
I do too.
But yes. That's a bad. No, I hear that. That's totally valid.
Was he up for contract and we were just like didn't think we could pay him or something?
No, we just weren't that good. He played the Wild into their years of like mediocrity, and then we did the coach bounce for several years.
Sure.
In those years of the coach bouncing, another really awful Wild trade that I saw, I was like looking at Wild transactions, and I remember, do you remember when we traded for Martin Hansel and Ryan White?
Oh yeah, and Ryan White.
And Ryan fucking White. Also, Martin Hansel was obviously past his prime. He like had a good career and whatever else, but he was like clearly on his way out. We gave them a first and a second.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And Grayson Downing, who I don't think is anything, but I think he's still like in somebody's prospect pool. But that's crazy.
Also, that year, Ryan White played on the fourth line, and Hansel and them were rental. No, Hansel was the rental. White had a couple of years on his deal. White ended up with more points.
I think he did
that towards the end of that season.
In the remainder of that
Hansel.
season, right?
Yes.
After the transaction. Yeah. Hansel scored 4 goals, I believe, in 20 games. I think that might have been his entire offensive. I'm probably wrong about that, but I know it was, not a good trade. Not a good first and second. On a year that we were, like, honestly, like, I think it was maybe 2012. I feel like it was 2014 maybe when I moved to Chicago, I'm pretty sure. And I remember seeing it happen and being like, what? The fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that was pretty fucking bad.
We've made a lot of good trades there are bad trades over the years. You know what was a trade that, because one of these guys is on the trade bait list, a la TSN. And one of them is not. You know what trade ended up being good for us? And I didn't expect it to be? Mikael Granlund for Kevin Fiala.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's a crazy trade.
I remember, yes.
I was mad as hell, because Fenton was a bad GM, but that was like one of those blind duck gets the titty or whatever the adage is. That was a good trade.
Do you think Bobby Ryan gets moved?
Probably. I don't know why.
What if he goes?
I don't know why you pick
Penguins?
up Bobby Ryan at this point.
Pens need some forwards.
Maybe. I mean, if they were stupid enough to pick up Jack fucking Johnson, I don't see why they wouldn't pick up Bobby Ryan. In fairness, Bobby Ryan's a better hockey player, especially for $1 million. It's actually, but I think, I don't know, how effective is Bobby Ryan?
I don't know. I think if you put him on a line with, who do they even have? Kapanen, and I'm just pulling the shit out of my ass. Excuse me. I don't know.
I think they do have Kapanen. That was, I think so. Did Cap? Yeah, I don't know. Zucker's back. Zucker just got back. My favorite NHL Jew.
He plays with Sid. He only plays
Does
with
he?
Sid. Yeah, they're Magic.
That's dreamy.
Um,
Good for Zucker.
I don't know. Granlund? Wouldn't it be cool to see Granlund in Maple Leaf sweater?
I assume Granny can do better than he's done in the last year and a half. I just think he had too long of a solid career here, including 2 years of near brilliance, to not be better than he's been on Nashville. So I think it's probably a decent pickup for somebody, especially if you don't have to re-sign him and it's under $4 million. I don't know. If I'm a team in need of he's listed as a center, but I think he's better as a wing, but still. He's not offensively nothing, and I assume that he still has some brilliance inside of him.
Sure.
I don't know. It might be kind of a boring trade deadline, honestly, Corey.
Yeah, I think so. With fucking COVID and the expansion, I think you kind of have to be really conservative, but I don't know.
Is Winnipeg where's Winnipeg at?
They're in second in the North, if I'm not mistaken.
Right?
They're second or third. They've been fighting
Sure.
their way around.
Do they just hang on?
No.
What do they do?
Fuck, they kind of need D. What if that's where Ryan Murray goes from the Devils?
Yeah.
Devils got to sell some shit too. They got people
Devils
available.
definitely got to sell some shit. Yeah.
Kulikov and Murray. I think Subban's there for a little bit.
Winnipeg doesn't have a first. They don't have a number one defenseman, huh?
No. Or even
they kind of don't even have a number 2 or a number 3.
No.
I love Winnipeg. I don't know why.
Yeah.
This was maybe 4 years ago, but I always go to the Winnipeg games if I can because I like talking shit to the Winnipeg fans who drive down.
Oh, yeah, right. They buy you beers.
I know, but they're that's why it's not an aggressive situation at all. It's so chill and everybody's so clearly just enjoying the sport of the chirp, bud. You know? And I remember 4 years ago, I was outside smoking a cigarette. I think I went with my friend Danny. And these the most Canadian motherfuckers you ever met in your life came over and asked for a light or whatever. And then very clumsily asked if I had cocaine to sell them. I just remember being but it was a Canadian experience, you know? And so it was very calm and endearing. And I was I don't do that, but I'm a little offended that you looked at me and decided to ask. But y'all are being so kind and pleasant that I can't really be all that mad about it. And then I was seeing somebody who worked at an adult arcade or a glorified adult arcade who described this interaction with some very extra Winnipeg boys who were looking for cocaine at her bar the next night.
And you're oh, hi.
I was I think I know those those sweet boys. Anyways, I like Winnipeg, but they have a bad defense.
What if Matt Dumba goes there?
Ugh. I
think it's
okay. I like Winnipeg, but I actually do fuck Evander Kane. But I think part of the hatred that he got in Winnipeg was subtle Canadian racism, and I think it's kind of a hick town, and I don't want Dumba to end up there.
Yeah. Maybe also there was that thing with Dustin Byfuglien and him because he.
I know.
All right. Okay.
But I just think yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I've heard accusations that their media is very quietly racist, and I believe it. Or I don't find it shocking, and I think that I don't want to lose Dumba, I guess. That's also part of it.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you do, I think you're losing him to Winnipeg or fucking Chuck Fletcher in Philadelphia. And honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know. Who would Philly sell for? I don't think Philly's even trying to sell anything, but
No.
if we
I
could,
think you stay.
I think if we could get like, I don't even know who the fuck we could get from them. I'm just talking shit.
I don't think
I know that
there's
Dumbo was supposed to be. Dumbo was a hot ticket this last summer. You know, he was gonna
Yeah.
get moved, and then he didn't.
But now it might be too late, and I think maybe his value isn't as heavy as it should be, because I choose to believe that he will continue and will improve once again and become a really solid, verifiable number one center. I still believe that in my heart.
Matt Dumba,
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah.
number one center,
Number one defenseman. I'm sorry.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, number one D-man. And so I have a hard time thinking letting him go, but especially now for like, I don't think he's worth a number one. I think there was a time when he was worth like a number one center or at least like a number two in a prospect, and now I don't know if that's true.
Sure. Yeah, looking at Philly's roster, there's not really much I want, and I don't think we really need a draft pick that's not eligible for lottery.
No,
They changed that too. I don't think we ever talked
They
about
did.
that.
we didn't. Yeah, they switched the rules up,
They're
right?
only doing lottery for the 1 and 2, and then those are the only slots that will get changed up. Everything else will be in sequence of final standings.
Sure. Well,
It's exciting.
it is exciting. I don't hate it. I think it's kind of tight.
I do too.
Maybe they'll stop rigging the fucking draft lottery for Edmonton and Chicago.
Okay, but New York too. Like, I think big markets.
Yeah, and New York.
I
Yeah,
just-
and yes, for big markets, you're absolutely right. Fuck them all.
Where did the Rangers even finish last season?
Not well. I don't know. Fuck the Rangers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go Islanders.
Go Islanders all day. Give me some fish sticks.
You got anything else, bud?
No, I just want some fish sticks.
Yeah, I'm about to make this this fried chicken.
Oh yeah. All right, I'll see you in 8 hours.
Sounds great.
Into the